Alexia, tell us about your business and what's limiting its growth right now.
I have a rental portfolio, business coaching, real estate business, and then I also own a coffee shop.
That is a lot of businesses.
It is.
So rental, business coaching, coffee shop, and what was the fourth one?
I also sell real estate.
Oh, sell real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay. And before we dive deeper into these businesses, what are the constraints you're facing? Let's talk about each business, just high level.
Yeah. So I think with the rentals, we got in at a great time and it was really easy for us to find a deal that made sense when interest rates were low. So that's when we were buying more single family student housing. Now we're more in development. So we're looking for bigger projects. My husband does construction. We have like a construction management. So bigger CM jobs. So it's really acquisition of finding the right properties. And then typically we raise capital. We'll do either hard money or we'll go traditional like commercial lending route. We typically buy cash and then we'll do a refinance or we'll sell. So kind of finding the right properties that need the rehab, but also have the potential to be converted. So right now we have 2 in the works. One was a old folks home essentially, and then the other one was an old warehouse, and both of those are being converted to 8 units. But after those 2 projects are completed, we have to have more in the pipeline.
And let's talk about the business coaching.
So the business coaching is where I am wanting to put all of my energy. That's something that over the last couple years, it's been on the back burner because my real estate business was on the front burner along with the coffee shop. I'm taking a step back from real estate and focusing on business coaching. So it's really optimizing my client base. I take 5 30-day client a month. So I have 5 spots for that. And then I have 5 reoccurring coaching spots. The reason I do that is just for the sake of my time and sanity. I really minimize my work hours to about 10 hours a week. So with that, it's, being selective on clients and making sure I'm finding clients that are aligned I don't do traditional business coaching, right? Someone's not going to call me because they really want to scale or they want to make their first sale. Typically, I'm working with entrepreneurs who are already established and they're looking to maintain or, increase a little bit their income, but they want to work less. That's their priorities. So making sure I'm getting the right clients and also providing, continuous value, putting them in the right program.
Right. And what's the constraint?
I would say the constraint is identifying that ideal client and providing the right amount of value where they know the need is there before it's kind of not too far, but a lot of people come and say, I'm so burnt out already. And it's like, if we can start that conversation before the burnout, it's typically a lot more successful. Same with delegation. A lot of people say, I already hired a VA or I hired an assistant or I hired an office admin and it didn't work. And it's not too late. We can do it. But if you get in, I offer like a 30-day to put the systems in place before you bring someone on. That's the ideal time to really get everything optimized. So you're not wasting your time and money to hire the wrong person.
Okay. Let's talk about the coffee shop.
So the coffee shop,
quick business and constraints.
Yeah, that one has the most constraints, I would say. So I'm in a little village of about 400 people. There's only one other restaurant, if you will, and it's a pizza place across the street. So our coffee shop in the winter gets really slow. We have a lake population that's bigger in summer. I'm in Michigan where it gets really cold and snowy and people don't want to leave their house. So we've struggled with adding food. There's restrictions around that, but getting our sales numbers to really sustain the growth that the community says they want to see.
Okay. Low sales. And finally, selling real estate.
Yeah. So real estate was my baby. That's how I got into the entrepreneurial world when I was 19. And I hustled really hard and built an amazing business. It was really great. I made great money. I am at the point where I just don't want to take on new clients. I'm very selective with who I take on. I would say the constraint is just the availability that's needed to do that job well. And I have assistants, I have transaction coordinators, I have, all of that. I have systems in place, but just the reactivity of that industry, I would say, is really the biggest thing for me.
You're an agent, right?
Yeah, I'm a broker. I used to have a team in an office, but I don't manage.
Okay.
I sold my ownership and now I just sell.
Okay. All right. And you said you don't want any more clients,
For real
right?
estate?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm only taking select clients, but I'll refer out anyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the goal is to like sunset that business and get out of it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right.
And I'd
Okay.
love to do it in a way that, still had passive income. I'm part of a national brokerage where recruiting people to the brokerage could be a passive source of income, but I just haven't put effort into that part of the business.
Yeah. Well, you have so many things going on, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now that we have a basic understanding of the four businesses that you have, let's talk about um goals. And but before we talk about goals, let's just get in context of the revenue, right? Like where you are in revenue numbers. So 2025, just ballpark, doesn't have to be exact. Where were you with the rentals business?
So the rentals bring in around 45,000 a month.
Okay. So yearly, like,
I have my
let's do the
calculator.
math. Can't do math in my head
I know.
that fast.
540.
540. Okay. 540K. Okay. 2025. What about business coaching?
So that was last year was the first year that I really gave anything, where I actually prioritized it. So I averaged, let's see,
This is
about
approximate.
55 I made
Yeah.
last
All
year
right.
in it.
50K. Okay. 50K. What
Yep.
about coffee shop?
Coffee shop, we broke even. Our sales were around 105, but like
Okay.
it ended up being like a break even.
Okay. Net was break even, but gross was 100K,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Okay. And the real estate agent
That was probably around 200 last year.
200K.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that
So
was
you're
me
close to
scaling back with the
right,
real
right,
estate
right,
for
right.
sure.
Yeah. So you're close to 1 million in revenue,
Mhm.
right? Okay. All right. So that's good. So you're making enough money where you can make decisions. You can be like, all right, I can exit out of one or two and still
Mhm.
be comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about goals now. So what's the goal? So rental 540K. Let's 3-year goal. Where would you like that gross to be?
So as far as it's less tied to revenue and more to like net, I would say. So we're looking
Right.
to net 20 a month. Um,
Right. But gross will go up as well, right?
exactly. Yeah, gross would have
Yeah.
to go up as well. So, but I think it's more tied because the struggle, the constraint is right. Like, what are the expenses that it's going to take us to get there? So
Okay.
I would say if we're at 40 right now, we net around 12 a month. Then to get to
Like so close to double, right?
double. Yeah, I'd say double.
Yes. So
Yeah.
1 million is the
Yep.
goal.
Yep.
Business coaching, you're at 50K. What's rough gross estimate?
In 3 years,
Yes.
I would say I'd like to be around 300.
300K. Okay. And coffee shop, you're at 100 right now.
Yeah, I would say if we doubled this year, so in 3 years, maybe 300.
300K in
Yeah.
coffee shop. And real estate, you want to go to zero.
Yeah.
Or do you want to talk about like having some kind of a passive affiliate income?
I don't need
Or
to.
you think it's unrealistic?
I don't think it's unrealistic. I just don't think it's where I really want to put my energy right now. I think in a couple years, I might, like, I'll keep my license active, and I think it's something
Yeah.
I'll kind of keep on the back burner, but it's not something I want to put energy into for the season that I'm in.
Okay. So just sunset it out close to zero, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. All right. So that's good. So I like the fact that you're bringing your obligations down because when you have four different businesses, right, your attention is diluted, right? Because
Yep.
you're putting only 25% like per business. Like I like to give this example. So I buy and sell vacant land. That's all we do. We have done 700 plus deals, and we recently started offering like mentorships. Like if someone wants to quit their 9 to 5, just like we had 9 to 5s and we quit and started
Yeah.
this business. Someone wants to quit, they can sign up for like a free strategy call, and we'll walk through the mindset and everything. A lot of times people will come to that call and they'll be like, well, I'm doing crypto, I'm doing single family, I also have like I'm helping my dad's business. I'm also like I also have a 9 to 5, and oh, I'm looking for my fifth passive income. And I
Yeah.
tell them, all right, you literally have like 5 to 8 hours left in the week to work on this brand new business,
Yeah.
who other people are putting in 70 to 80 hours,
Yeah.
and you're going to compete with them and you're going to kick their butt. Like, does that does that make any sense? Like, that sounds delusional to me.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what I tell people when they you know try to build like 7, 8, 9 passive income streams, because anyone who has been in the business for like more than 2 years, they are very aware that there is no such thing as passive income, right? You
Yeah.
have, as an
Always.
entrepreneur, you are putting in active. If you
Yeah.
want passive, maybe just buy dividend stocks, right? Because that's the
Exactly.
only thing passive.
Exactly.
um
Yeah, and
right,
I
so it
think
is.
truly the coffee shop, like I would not be opposed to exiting that in the future. I think that was a passion project for the community. I had the building,
Mm,
but that's not something that I really want to continue to pour into. Like my focus is my coaching business and then
yeah.
our rentals.
Yeah. So yeah, that actually, good thing you brought it up, because that's what I was gonna say as well. That coffee shop, it's just like it's like its own separate entity. It's not even related, right?
Exactly.
A
Yeah.
lot of people, like, we start like, oh, we have land business and we'll teach how people to do land. Like, so it's related. We're like teaching the same things that we're implementing. We learn new things, we implement in our business, right? So that makes more sense, at least from my perspective, because then you are, it's complementary, right, to
Exactly.
each
Yeah,
businesses.
food and beverage is not my wheelhouse.
Right, right. So maybe, yeah, maybe, or so how, what would be a way for you to exit out of that? Are you just going to sell it or rent it out, or like give it to another owner, have some kind of a partnership where you're like a silent partner? What are you
Yeah, so
thinking?
those are the two options. I would either like be a silent partner, if they're my manager, if she wanted to kind of climb up in that and take it on, I'd be open to that. Or if somebody were to be wanting to buy it, I would also be open to that.
Right. Because it is the problem with the coffee shop business is, inherently, you can make, obviously you can make money in any business, but your total addressable market, TAM, is
Mhm.
only 400 people,
Yeah, it is a
right?
little bigger, just that's the village limits. We have a couple thousand like in the surrounding areas, but we are super limited by population, especially in winter.
Yeah. In winter, and also, like, I'm guessing 20% or 25% don't even drink coffee. So we're not even, total addressable market is not even 400. It's probably
Yeah.
less than that.
Yep.
How many regulars do you have, like, some kind of analytics around how many regulars are there?
Yeah, so our regulars like our I would say it's less than 20 that are like
Ooh,
coming multiple times a
okay.
week. But we
Yeah,
have also dropped our winter hours, so we're only open 3 days a week right now, just to cut
yeah,
costs. In
yeah.
summertime, I would say it's more, but in wintertime, with being open 3 days a week, we're averaging like about 75 to 100 customers a week, not more than that.
Mm,
So it
mm,
is very hard to get the sales up. We've brought in local vendors, if you will, that sell other things here. We just had a meeting with a baker. That's something that people have been asking about, is having baked goods. So that's something new that we're going to be introducing in the next couple weeks. We haven't even announced it yet.
mm.
Doing things like that, but our labor cost is really just really hard for us to keep up with when we have such a low foot traffic.
Yeah. What about, uh how much are you paying in rent?
So we own the building,
Oh,
but
you do? Okay.
yeah, yeah, but we
Huh.
rent to
Wait,
our
so why do you need to keep it open all year long? You could just keep it open during the summer months.
we could. It's more of like a community passion project. Like with the winter months, we're breaking even. Last year was our first full year being open also. So we learned a lot with the hours. We played around with being open 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. We added ice cream. We did those kind of things. So I think it's been, we could be closed. I think after this winter, we'll have a better
Mm,
data, to go off of, but that's a good idea. It's just hard when there's nowhere for people to meet up with people or do anything like that here in the mornings. There's nowhere in the community.
Yeah. So maybe, yeah, maybe go the silent partner route. I mean, you do own the building,
Yeah.
so why not just like have another operator and you just be say like a 20% partner,
Yeah.
right? I think that seems like a best play because it's gonna open up all this time and brain cycles that you're, you
Yeah.
know,
How would you
focusing on it.
structure that?
Well, it's, I mean, totally up to you, right? Like
Yeah.
whatever you're comfortable with. But I would be, if I'm doing it personally, I would um, make sure that the operator is 100% responsible of the day to day, and my time will not be like
Yeah.
I'm not be acting as like a guide or a counselor for them, and they'll be like,
Yeah.
all right, you're running the show, and I am just like, I'll meet you once a quarter just to catch up, but it I cannot be involved in day to day, and that should be the part of the deal. That's how
Yeah.
I would structure it.
Okay. I like that. I like it.
What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was thinking. I definitely don't want to be in day to day. Right now, I have kind of stepped away from, I'm still involved day to day, but my manager has like taken on more
Mm,
responsibility. So I think that's an ideal world where it's going. I think just because it is so new, it's, I mean, I wanted to give it enough time to really do trial and error, and I like to learn. I'm trying to constantly tweak things and learn and see where can we improve sales, how can we reduce our expenses, and hours, is it product, is it all the things, um, without going too far down the rabbit hole. We also own a liquor license in the town
mm.
that's currently tied to a different building that's vacant, and so I've thought about bringing that over here as another option. But again, I wouldn't really want to be
The
the one
fifth
to.
line of business, right?
No, no, I don't want to, but just to increase the sales here and to
Right,
make it
right.
more,
Yeah,
profitable. That was the thought.
yeah. All right. So, Alexia, here's a question for you. You're looking, so initially when we did the goals, you said, "Well, I want to be at 300K on the coffee shop." If you were to say put all your effort in just rentals and business coaching,
Yeah.
how easy or how hard would it be to just replicate extra 200K there?
Think it depends on who the operator is.
No, 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 no. No, no, no. What
Okay.
I'm saying is, say we shut down the coffee shop,
Uh-huh.
right? And the
Yeah.
goal, so we still have the goal of adding another 200K or like 100K in net, right?
Yeah.
Which we're not going to get from the coffee shop anymore because we shut it down.
Yeah.
How easy would it be for you to generate additional 100K in net through your rentals or through your business coaching if
I
you save that time and put it in there?
yeah, I think with coaching it's very doable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
No, that's exactly what I was trying to like guide you towards, that we don't like just from a purely business numbers perspective.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean, I'm not talking about like passion projects, just like
Yeah.
I'm talking about like all logic and numbers, right?
Exactly.
Just from a purely numbers perspective, if you were to focus on just the rentals and business coaching, it'd be much easier to generate an extra 100K in
Yeah.
net as opposed to like being split, because then you don't even know the opportunity cost of like how much you're not making
Yeah.
using business coaching and rentals because
Yeah.
you're getting sidetracked.
Yeah, that's how I felt with my coaching business, with my real estate, honestly. Like that was my biggest
Yeah.
over the last few years. It's like I wanted to put like last year, I was like, okay, I'm ready to shift into coaching and like step away from real estate, but I didn't really say no to clients. And
Yeah.
so then I'm spending all this time almost feeling like reactive, and
Yeah.
it's all the time that went into real estate was not put into my coaching business. And I have four very, very young kids. They're all under four. And it's like I have limited hours. I have childcare. I'm training for a marathon and a triathlon and all the things. Like I don't want to work 60-hour weeks. That's not my thing. Right. So
Right.
how I can really put my energy in the right place, like you're saying. And so I think that's a good point with the coffee shop.
Yeah. I mean, you could just example, like if just look at this example. If you go back, right, the guy who came to my mentorship session, right? He has 5 lines of businesses and I have one. Like there is no way he can beat me in the line of business that I'm 100% dedicated, right? Towards.
Yeah.
So it's the same concept. Like if you could just put all your effort and become a market leader in that area, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna, and we all know that market leader always makes like generates like the most amount of profit, like the 80/20 principle,
Yep.
right? So I think it's smart that you are thinking of getting out of the real estate agent business and getting out of the coffee shop, or at least be a silent partner so you can just focus on either the rentals and business coaching.
Okay.
um let's talk about business coaching. So that seems like your biggest um future business interest, right? Where you want to put all your attention
Yeah,
there.
definitely.
So tell me about, let's do a deep dive on that. Tell me how you're acquiring these business coaching customers right now.
Yeah, so right now they come from either speaking events, real estate connections, so like agents and people I've worked with, or social media.
Okay, so speaking events, referrals, and social media marketing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like doing any at this point, not doing paid ads. It's more like organic
Organic.
followers. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, organic. Um, and if you had to draw a pie chart, right, what would be percentages for these three pieces?
Um, I would say
It's
referrals
approximate.
is
Yeah.
probably about well, 50%.
Okay.
And then I would say speaking is probably 30,
Okay.
and then social media is
Social
about 20.
media. Social
Yeah.
media 20%. Okay.
And I'd like to increase that social media and speaking events, and scale back referrals, because I think that, as when I was like really starting to first announce it, it was a new thing and I was tapping into that referral market. But now I want to, generate more new business from less people that know me necessarily in that capacity.
Wait, so is it referrals or is it affiliates?
So it's people that I personally know and have worked with.
Oh, so they're sending you like, oh, work with Alexia. She's really great,
Yeah, but
kind
like
of thing.
people I've worked with in real estate capacity, or people I've worked with in like other business capacities.
Oh, so these are the same people and they're not referring others. These are
Correct.
past clients.
Correct. They're not really past clients. Like I used to work in a real estate brokerage. Another couple realtors who I used to work with have now come to me for coaching.
Okay. Oh, okay. So networking. It's more
Yeah.
like a,
Yeah. I would say
yeah.
more networking.
Right. Okay. Because referrals, so there are like three. So
Yeah. When you
different
said
types, right? So,
referrals, I was kind of like, well,
yeah,
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 I
yeah.
guess.
Yeah. So referrals is when your existing customer refers someone else,
Yep.
right? So that's referrals. Affiliates is where you're like, oh, well, if you send me a customer, I'll give you like 5%
Mhm.
kickback, right? So that's affiliate. What you're talking about is more just your personal network.
Yeah.
Because you said, well, I want to scale back referrals. Well, we never want to scale back
Yeah,
referrals.
not referrals. I meant the
Right.
network.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just
Yeah.
personal connections, because I think that require like that is great. I love getting those, but I think there is a limit to that, right? There's only so many people that I've worked with in business
Yes.
before that are going to come to me for coaching. So I really want to
Right.
figure out how to leverage. I think the speaking events is one that over time it will just increase, but how do I leverage my social media to get more of that cold audience or people that are watching and engaging, but they're not necessarily raising their hand saying, "Yep,
Right.
I'm ready."
They're not taking action. Um, what so these customers, is there like a true referral right now, like anyone has actually referred out to like a friend or anyone?
So I have done intro calls, but I haven't had any reoccurring monthly
Okay.
coaching clients from that. I did just add a 30-day program. So before it was month to month coaching.
Hmm.
Um, Only. I didn't have like a 1 month offer, so to speak. So now I have
Right.
a 30-day offer and I've seen new people coming around.
Right. How many customers do you have right now?
So right now I have 3 in my 30-day, and I technically have 2 because one just went on maternity leave for month to month.
Okay. So 5 total customers,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
And what is your current offer? So you said you have this brand new offer where you're doing like a 30-day program, right?
Yep. So it's a 30-day VA fast track. It's helping someone create the systems they need to start delegating the work. So we'll have a 2-hour call. We'll go over all of the business workings. We'll create the systems that are needed to successfully bring someone on. We create the job description. Then they'll go and post it. They'll get applicants. Then we review kind of the applicants. We talk about the interview process. We set up all of the systems that they need to like bring someone on for a trial, and then after the trial we reevaluate, are they the right fit, what needs tweaking. So that's a 30-day to like get someone fully hired, trained, and onboarded.
And so essentially these are businesses, I'm guessing small businesses who are trying to like more like solopreneurs who are trying to do everything themselves.
Yeah, that's a majority. I have had, actually, I just did it for somebody who is like a director of a nonprofit. So I'm seeing that
Mhm.
it's actually, I was originally just speaking to entrepreneurs, but I found that there is a need in actually more of that corporate setting, for the
Mhm.
systems and the structure of delegation.
Right. Okay. So I'm guessing most of the customers would be solopreneurs, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So solopreneurs, they haven't really hired anyone in the past. They need help with hiring, and they're also not aware how to hire, say, in the Philippines or Pakistan, right?
Exactly.
A virtual
Yeah.
assistant. So
Yeah.
you kind of like,
Or they brought someone on they did hire and they said it didn't work. So they
yeah,
tried
yeah,
it and it
right.
was not successful for whatever reason. That's
Right.
a
I
lot
mean,
of
there's
that.
like so many things that can go wrong. It could have been a bad or like a bad hire, or they might not know that, you have to document, because of the language barrier. Yes, so many things that could need improvement. Um, so when you construct this offer, right? Usually, if you want an offer to be accepted by a lot of people, a lot of your customers, then you need three elements to that offer. It needs to sound easy, like, oh yeah, this is easy. We're gonna, do this for you 30 days. It's super easy. Second thing is time delay. So that needs to be as short as possible. Oh yeah, we'll get it done in 30 days, which you already have. So which is great. And the third is risk free. So it needs to have some kind of an element where if something goes wrong, they'll be, well, you'll get your money back, or we'll extend it for another 30 days without cost, something like that.
Oh,
So
that's
do
good.
you have all those three components? I do. So you do have the fast component because it's saying it's 30 days, which is fast.
Yeah.
So the other component is easy and risk free.
So the easy, I think we have, because we go through it all together. Everything is pretty much set up with during those calls. It's not like homework heavy or a lot of individual work.
Hmm.
I would say the risk free. So how I currently have it set up is like we're building the system that can be very easily replicated if that VA doesn't work out or that assistant, whatever. You have everything in place where you're literally just bringing someone else on. But I like the idea of if in 30 days the hire didn't work, we'll extend for 30 days, and at that point bring someone else on. You know,
Right.
like, so that's,
Yeah.
I'm open to that. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Because when you make it like is have some kind of a guarantee, right?
Yeah.
Then it makes it like risk free for them.
Yeah.
Because the number one thing
Easy,
people
fast, risk free. I like it.
care about is not necessarily the price. It's what happens if things go wrong,
Yeah, that's
right?
a good point.
In their head. So that's one thing, right? Now we can also enhance this offer by so there is like a discrepancy between the amount of value you're providing versus the price you're charging. So tell me, what's the current price that you're charging for the 30-day offer?
997.
997. Okay. And what do they get in addition to is there anything else in addition to the fact that in 30 days you'll help them hire a VA and the VA will be trained and they'll be like hit
Yeah.
the ground running?
So they'll have a full onboarding system in place for anyone else they want to bring on.
Hmm.
Have documented processes and SOPs. They'll
Okay.
have a clear understanding of their role, their reoccurring tasks, their necessary tasks, and what tasks they want to get rid of.
Hmm. These SOPs, these are just Word documents that they use themselves, or is it like part of like a central wiki or something?
So, yeah, they'll create them when we're together. So they're customized to the tools that they're going to be that they use in their business. And what we
Hmm.
do is like we analyze. So I did with the HOA, I have it all on this board, but we looked at what are her reoccurring tasks, what are the platforms that are used, what does she want this assistant to do? And then what we'll do is like on the call together, I'll go into ChatGPT, whatever AI, and I say, hey, these are the tools we're using. I want a VA to be able to execute these things, blah, blah, blah. And that's how we do like a on the spot SOP. And then we'll create a library of those based on the tasks that are going to be delegated.
Okay. Have you thought about having some kind of a central like CRM that could be part of the service? So they like, you get like a monthly recurring revenue coming in that,
Yeah.
oh, use this CRM, and then we have like updated SOPs. They'll automatically be pushed out to you because it's part of that central CRM
Yeah, that's
system.
interesting. I've never thought of that. I have thought of the CRM because, like, I use Go High Level. I have the white label capability,
Yeah.
but I don't. I feel like the SOPs are so custom
Yeah.
to each person. So, what kind of SOPs do you think would be valuable?
Well, there are usually the processes never remain static, right? They're always improving, right?
Yep.
For example, say you post, like for us, like we post on certain websites, like when we do marketing for land,
Yep.
and mm, websites change. So, like we were for putting in this format, and now we have to change the format. So we have to update the SOP. Other times, the tiers change. Oh, it used to be platinum tier, now it's diamond tier, and they have different requirements, right?
Mm,
So I'm sure
okay.
as the business evolves, right, and the services and external services and say the cloud platform change, right? As as things change, the SOP needs to be updated, right? They never stay static,
Yeah.
right? So if you can somehow create this as part of a dynamic CRM where they'll be like, all right, so this is the initial set of SOPs, but then we find new things and we improve, and then you get like pushed these updates to
Yeah.
your system because you're part of the same ecosystem, because
Yeah.
it's the same CRM, right? It's just like a different you're just a user within the CRM, right?
Got it. Yeah. Yeah.
So that would be one option.
Okay. It's interesting to
um
think about. I'd have to think through.
yeah. The other thing I'm thinking is, when we make an offer, we discussed fast, easy, risk free. We talked about, making it risk free with a guarantee. But there are two other elements that we can implement, which is bonuses and scarcity,
Okay.
right? So, can you think of any bonuses that we can add to the offer so that we can make the offer like a no-brainer? There will be like irresistible offer, right? So
Yeah.
essentially, 30-day VA fast track. So you have like a good name. We're going to bringing this VA. We're going to hire them. We're going to train them. We're going to build these SOPs. I'm going to give you access to my CRM. You'll have like free 90-day access. After that, it becomes 29.99 per month or whatever. Um, and then on top of that, you get one free 30-minute call with me. Like, and like just keep on stacking the bonuses. You
Okay.
get one 30-minute call with me. You get like 15 email conversations with me. Like, just like whatever you can think of.
Yeah.
That doesn't take a lot of your time, but at least it provides a meaningful value. Or they get like 4 hours worth of access to your assistant, right?
Yeah.
um, think of all the bonuses you can stack so that when they look at that offer, they'll be like, oh, just for 997, that looks like a no-brainer. I need to
Yeah.
take it now. Because I think that's why when you said, oh, I'm doing this social media, and a lot of people are like maybe on the fence. They like listening to your content, but they don't like raise their hands and
Yeah.
buy the product, because in their head they might be thinking, well, 997, that seems a little bit too high. I can just try to figure it out myself. I'll just ask ChatGPT
Yeah.
to give me ideas, right? But
Yeah.
if you make it, if your offer is like so custom to Alexia that only Alexia can do this, right? Because she has all this experience, then you're no longer like a commodity. You're like a unique package that you're creating, right? That only
Gotcha.
you can fulfill,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So
Definitely.
that's one thing I would look at, right? What are the bonuses you can stack in your current offer, so it increases the value of your offer without changing the price.
Yeah.
The other thing is scarcity. So you
Yeah.
want to have some sort of like a deal, just like, oh, Black Friday, if you buy before end of day Sunday, you get like 20% off. So you say the price is 12,997. If you buy before Sunday, it's 999,997 kind of
Okay.
thing. Right?
Yeah.
So you have some kind of a scarcity urgency built in.
Okay.
And you can also say, well, I can only take 20 clients at a time because obviously my time is limited,
Yeah.
right? So buy before you book. And you don't have to say 20,
Yeah.
whatever your max limit is,
Yeah.
like 7 clients I can take, right? So you build in scarcity, you build in urgency, you add bonuses, you stack bonuses, you add a risk-free guarantee, and you build like a monthly recurring component to it. That will turn it into an irresistible offer, and it will also bring you monthly recurring revenue.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I appreciate that. I think that's
Okay,
helpful.
so here's another concept that is really critical to understand when you're doing businesses like business coaching, which are digital, especially for these businesses. So there are two ways to make money in a business, right? Two high level ways of making money. One is you can spend money on marketing, spend your time or money on marketing and ads and bring in more customers. And the second big way is to make your existing customers more valuable, right? I understand right now you only have like 5, 6 customers, but as you grow these customers, you want to maintain a relationship with them, right? So they come back and buy more,
Mhm.
right? And the reason that's important is because I'll tell you, like, I had a guest recently, Mark Young. I mean, you can watch his interview. He's been doing like he has a CPG agency. He's been doing it for like 40, 45 years. His net worth is like in 100 million plus. And he was on the show, and I asked him, just like I asked you, let's draw a pie
Yeah.
chart of your customer acquisition. And he's like, well, we don't even need to draw a pie chart because 100% of my customers come from one channel. I was like, really? 100%? Like, yeah. I was like, what is that? And he said referrals.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Basically, all the, like, for the past 40 years, he has built in like so much goodwill in the marketplace, and so much, so much like big network and favors he has done, where people just send him clients. Like, he
Yeah, wow.
doesn't need to do any marketing. He says, literally, I have like 10 customers coming in like every few days. Like, I don't even have time to do marketing,
Yeah,
right?
wow.
So, but the way you do that, the way we structure the business to be set up in such a way, the way you do $0 in marketing,
Mhm.
is you have a lot of repeat customers and a lot of referrals,
Yeah.
right? So I understand that you have this 30-day program, and you're thinking, oh, someone will come in, I will fulfill, make them happy, do a good job, and then I'll just find a new customer, and then find a new one, and then find a new one, right? Because
Yeah.
that's how all small businesses think, because they're just looking at the first half of the equation, spending more money or time on marketing and getting more customers and getting paid, right? So it's
Mhm.
very transactional.
Yeah.
But for what very big businesses like 9-figure, 10-figure businesses, right? They focus heavily on making existing customers more valuable, and the reason for that is because you already know this, every year, the cost of acquiring a customer, cost of ads, cost of marketing, it just goes up,
Yeah.
right? Facebook ads, like in 2018, were like so cheap compared to what they are right
Yeah,
now,
definitely.
right?
Yeah.
So that's the reason why, right? CAC to LTV, cost to acquire customer, and lifetime value, right? Those are the two variables. And we want to put a lot of emphasis on LTV, lifetime value. How do we
Yeah.
make our existing customers more valuable? Since you're just starting out, you have only have 5, 6 customers. um I hope you're doing customer, you have like, you're acting as a customer success director as well for your company, where you're maintaining these relationships, you're having like check-ins, and these are not email check-ins, it needs to be personal,
Yeah.
Loom videos, or just like a video call
Yeah.
kind of thing, where you are maintaining these relationships, because even if they don't come back, they might send you other people,
Exactly. Yeah.
because you're
Yeah, and
always
that's
top of mind.
yeah, definitely. I think that's where the month to month offer, like that's how I started, was more of that long term and then adding the 30-day to hopefully bring more people into the ecosystem and then
Hmm.
lead them to that one, that monthly. So, um outside of that, do you think it's more referrals for the past people who have come in and like left, or is it more expanding a new offer that for those past clients?
So we do both, right?
Okay.
I'm just saying we should never lose focus on building LTV,
Okay.
because that's like the biggest mistake I see when I
Yeah.
talk to like smaller businesses.
Yeah.
Because they all their focus is on, oh, I'm just gonna come up with this offer, I'm gonna come up with that offer, I'm gonna
Yeah.
bring in more clients, and I'm gonna bring in even more clients,
Yeah.
and that works until the cost goes so high where they're like breaking even, and then they're like, am I in the wrong business? Well,
Yeah.
you're not in the wrong business, you're just not running it properly because you're not focusing on the LTV,
Yeah.
right? So that
Yeah.
was the point I was making. But yeah, but you, obviously you want to do both,
Yeah.
right? You want to
Yeah.
bring in new customers, but you also want to make sure you're making them valuable.
Yeah.
um so now offers, right? So we discussed this offer, but there are also 4 different kinds. And if you're not making all 4 kinds of offers, you're leaving money on the table, right?
Okay.
So what are those? So first is the attraction offer, right? So it's funny because when I go on podcasts, I use the coffee shop example as for me to explain to other people what these offers, how these offers apply. So say we're running a coffee shop, an attraction offer would be, say, it's like a lot of foot traffic we're getting, and we know during the afternoons no one comes in to the coffee shop because no one likes to drink coffee during the afternoons, whatever, right? Between 12 and 2. So we did the analytics, 12 to 2, no one comes in. So we put a sign out, say, if you come in between 12 and 2, you get 20% off anything in the store, right? What
Yeah.
will that offer do? Now people who otherwise wouldn't come in will come in, right? So we're attracting people who otherwise weren't interested in our offer.
Yeah.
So an creative offer like that, which attracts new people, is called an attraction offer, right? So that's one. The second is upsell offer, and we already discussed this, right? So if someone, actually maybe we didn't, so if someone comes in and they say, well, I would like a small cappuccino, right? And we're like, well, if you try the large one, you get like a free croissant. We have this special going on. And then you should also try this. You should try that. You should try that. Right.
Yeah.
So that's an upsell offer where we upsell people into like a higher value item. Third offer is downsell offer. So say you try to upsell them into an expensive offer, like
Uh-huh.
say, oh, these coffee beans just arrived from Costa Rica. They're like special, rare, people love them, but we only have like a few 5-pound bags left. Would you like to try one? And would you like to take one home? And they're like, well, how much is it? You say, well, it's $97. I'm like, oh, that's too much, right? I can't really, I don't want to spend that much. And then
Yeah.
so that was your upsell. They said no to it, and then you downsell. So you say, oh, that's okay. We also have like a smaller 1-pound bag. Would you like try that? That's only 29, right? So you
Yeah.
downsell the offer. So you made at least something.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you would have made $0, right? So that's the downsell offer. And the fourth offer, that's the one we discussed, which is a continuity offer. This is like membership
Yeah.
subscriptions, like CRM subscriptions, so on and so forth. So coffee shop would be like, oh, join this coffee club and you get invited to these after hour events, you get
Yeah.
this, you get coupons in the mail, right? So as a business, you want to be making all those 4 offers. If you don't, you're leaving money on the table, right? So just like I heard when you were telling me, oh, you have this new 30-day offer and you do this month to month, and I was thinking, oh wait, what? But we don't. I'm not thinking of like I'm not hearing a continuity offer in that 30-day plan, because what if we can build a custom CRM, like a
Yeah.
existing CRM, and we build custom workflows, and we update SOPs, and we
Yeah.
push alerts, and then maybe they can chat you or your assistant. So
Yeah.
we provide that service, and then we charge like $49 or $97 per month. So
Yeah.
that will build the MRR, monthly recurring revenue,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so when you're doing this offer construction, think of all four types and not just focus on one, right?
Okay.
So attraction offers are really powerful, because then you can pretty much do every month, right? You
Yeah.
have like Memorial Day sale, Black Friday, Christmas, every
Yeah.
month there's something or the other, right?
Okay.
So you can use that as an opportunity to build your attraction offer, to offer like some kind of a discount, or it doesn't. And if you don't like discounts, it doesn't have to be discount. It can just be like a special bonus that you haven't offered before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
No, I'm not opposed to discounts, but I'm open to either. Truly.
yeah, 4-hour masterclass with Alexia, one-time offer.
Yeah.
And it's a bonus if you buy my 997 course,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you want to build these bonuses, and like this essentially a stacked offer, and make it custom to the event, right? Like, since Black Friday, we just put it in the Black Friday sale or Black Friday special offer.
Yeah.
And then you can, because next month it might be something else, and it might be the same 4-hour masterclass, but you just change the name and you
Yeah.
tweak some of the terms, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So you can keep on repeating it, and it will have like a freshness factor to it.
Yeah. I like that for sure.
Yeah. So those are my thoughts on how you can increase the revenue. So we discussed, you were at 50K right now, and the goal is to get to 300K. So hopefully these ideas help you get there.
Yeah, definitely.
I want you to transition to your rentals, right? So 540K is the current revenue coming in,
Yep.
and 1 million is the target. And you mentioned, let's talk about that a little bit. So you mentioned these are single family student housing.
So we have about 80 doors across them. So we have a few single family. We have a few that are single family student, so like a frat house. Couple bigger properties there, and then also a few, like we have an old school that we turned into a 10-unit apartment. We have an 8-unit. We have a couple like bigger ones. So
Okay. And what's the plan? Are these like all paid off, or you're paying them? Like,
yeah,
what's the
so
debt situation?
So it's a little they're from different seasons, they're different. So the first couple that we got were on a 15-year. My husband was like very adamant on not having a lot of debt. And then after that I was like, I don't think debt's a bad thing as long as they're profitable. So when we
Mm,
got in, it was 2020, rates were great. We lucked out. We just got very blessed and all of that. So then we bought a few on 30 years. Um, we also bought some cash. So the ones that we flipped up, we bought them cash, but then we did like a cash out refinance.
mm,
Um, so like the projects that we have right now that are going to be 8 units, those we bought cash, and then our plan is to do a cash out refinance when they're finished.
mm. Okay. And what's the long term plan? Are you like keep it at 80 doors, or increase them? Or like, so how are you thinking of getting to 1 million?
Yeah, so I think what we do is we find a property that is underpriced and not currently a rental. So like this old person's home, it was like a nursing home. And then it had been on the market for a long time. Nobody wanted it. We bought it. We'll go in and gut it. So we go down pretty much to studs, build out 8 units in there. And then we'll rent those out. We'll do like a cash out refinance or refinance and take out 70% of that. And then we'll keep it
Hmm.
as a rental.
Right. So the goal is to keep on increasing.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. What about like, are you thinking of like debt to income ratio, or like how are you thinking of managing debt, or you're gonna just keep on refinancing?
So as far as the debt goes, like the tenants are paying off all of the
Right, right, right. Yeah.
yeah. So when you say debt to income ratio, I mean if it's not profitable each month, we would not keep it.
Hmm.
So all of them are profitable.
Okay. So just keep adding to it, and then you'll just keep on increasing, and then tenants will keep paying the debt, right?
Yeah. Yep. And we're
Okay.
obviously increasing like our equity through that as well.
Right. How much time is being spent? Are these do these properties have property managers, or
So
are you
we
actively
we hired an in-house property manager. So
okay?
we have someone that's full time. Um, we also have a project manager. So they work together for like repairs, filling units, all of that. So we're not spending a lot of time. I have a call once a week with my property manager just to get a feel for everything that's going on. And that's kind of all the time that I'm spending. My husband spends a little bit more time just from the construction management side of it. So when
Hmm.
we're working on these two new, like it'll end up being 16 additional units. He spends a lot of time with that. And he also is, we both focus on like the acquisition, but he focuses on the construction side of it.
Okay. So it seems like your rental business, it seems very stable, and it seems like you know what you're doing. You clearly have like figured out a system, and clearly your husband is like doing a good job with construction side, and you're doing a good job on the acquisition side. Why not just focus 100% of the effort on the rentals? Why even bother with business coaching?
I think I like the business coaching. Like I really enjoy how my brain gets to work in that capacity. That's more like fulfilling for me. The
Hmm.
rentals, I think too, it's a lot of like I don't really spend a lot of time. They're at a point where they are very passive, and I think there's also certain limits with my husband's time as far as how many projects we're going to take on and be successful with at once. Um,
Hmm.
and I also think the projects that are available, it's if it was still 2021 and I knew now then, it would have been different. But I think for what's currently available, it does take finding the right property, making sure our construction costs are down, our time frames, and making sure we can get out of it enough so that it makes sense to be profitable.
Hmm. I mean, theoretically, you can bring in external help, right?
Yeah, yeah, we can. Um, but then that becomes more he's managing the construction on all that. I'm just doing design for those. So it's not a
Right.
big time thing for me. I just, so that's kind of
Okay.
the,
Yeah. No, I'm just thinking, like going back to the focus angle, right? Um, why? So here's another question, another thought I had. Why not teach other people how to start a rental business, as opposed to teaching them the VA hiring VAs framework?
it's a good, it's a good question. And yeah, it's been asked before. I think there is some level probably of imposter syndrome with our rentals where, it's like, we got very blessed. We were lucky, all of that. I think I could do that, but I'm not the numbers person behind it as much. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
I could teach someone how to do it, but that's not like what brings me a bunch of joy. What brings me like the most joy and excitement is like watching someone who's working a ton of hours, not spending time with their kids, be like, oh my gosh, I just got 20 hours back a week and now I get to go on this trip with my family. Like, that's for
Hmm.
me where I'm coming from, which is not a numbers answer. It's purely an emotional answer, but I think that's my heart behind it. I feel like my purpose is more tied to that.
Hmm. Is the goal to take this, like, you're at 1 million right now, more or less. Is
Mhm.
the goal to get to 10 million, or is the goal is to just more of a lifestyle business where you just have like growing slowly, but you still have a lot of time for personal projects?
Yeah, I think the goal is to get to 10 million, but not at the cost of working crazy hours. Like I don't I would be great to be, like we talked about like the market leader, but I'm not
Mm,
willing to sacrifice like time with my family or outside of like we have childcare 40 hours a week.
mm,
And in that 40 hours, I'm also training for marathons and Ironmans. And, so for me, it's like there has to be that balance. I think we did all of our growth really, really fast. Like we went from 0 to 40 doors in like 2 years, probably. And with that, I think as we continued to grow and feel success, our marriage and our family did go on the back burner. And that's something we've been able to share about now. But I mean, 2 years ago, it was a really, really hard thing for
mm,
us to see a future of our family being together. And I
mm.
think after going through that, it just has changed my priorities. And so
Yeah.
I think it's like at what cost? And that to me was the cost. Like we were really riding high on the success that we had from the rentals. And I think maybe that's part of why too. It just feels like the season we were in when we built it is not the same season we are in now.
Okay. Well, at least you're honest about it,
Yeah.
because there's some people who are like, well, yeah, I want to 10 million, I want to get to 100 billion, right? And then they're like, well, but I also only want to work 20 hours a week, right?
Yeah.
So there's like a conflict there, but at least you're honest. You're like, well, I am not trying to get to 100 million, and
Yeah.
I'm in no rush to get to 10 million.
Yeah.
I'm prioritizing my time with family and just having a good balance. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a
I appreciate.
lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a lifestyle thing for us, right? Like I want our income to support a lifestyle that
Yeah.
has, financial freedom, time freedom. That's always been my pillars, like to have both. And, it's like, okay, well, what's like within my means? Like I'm not trying to like have money just to throw out the window. But, I want to live like we live like a very comfortable like where we have a great lifestyle and I don't want to sacrifice that either. So I want to be
Hmm.
able to like step away from real estate and maintain that lifestyle. I want to be able to open a coffee shop as a passion project and
Yeah.
if it breaks even great. But I think there also is ebbs and flows like with our rentals, with our construction company. We did flips for a bit, we lost money on flips. And I think there's a lot of that doesn't really get seen or factored in when you look at the numbers. So I think a lot of it too is life experience, honestly. And I know there's not
Yeah.
like it's hard to verbalize that when like I'm not trying to just share the highlight reel and say like, "Oh, we
Yeah.
got it so
Yeah.
great. We're so great." Like it has been hard to get to where we are and our expenses are higher than they should be in some places. I think that's part of it. Like you can look at all these numbers and it's like, "Great, $1 million," but it's like, "Okay, how much are we making on that?" Which we're
Hmm.
making, we're good, but it's just more of like a always wanting to tweak it and make it better.
I'm guessing someone's watching this. They're probably wondering what kind of gross or like net margins do you have right now? Just an approximate. I'm guessing
Yeah.
it's like less than 20% net, or what?
For the rentals or for
Yeah, for the rentals. Yeah.
so we're at about 12 grand a month, maybe
Right.
15.
So 15% net,
No, no, sorry, 15 grand.
15 grand net.
Yeah.
What does it come to percentage wise compared to gross? Just an approximate.
Yeah, you're asking me math questions. I told you
All
I'm
right,
not
it's
the
fine.
numbers person.
It's fine. It's fine.
So, yeah, I mean, let's see.
Or you want the audience to do their own
Yeah,
math?
like 30
Like,
around 30%.
okay, 30%. All right. Okay. I mean, that's not bad,
No. No,
right?
it's not
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
when you look at like what our expenses are as a family, like our family
Hmm.
expenses,
I see.
that's
Okay.
where I'm coming from is like I want to be able to sign my kids up for all the sports. I want to go buy them all the clothes. I want to go to
Right.
Disneyland. I want to do those kind
Yeah.
of things. And I get how superficial that sounds. Like I totally understand, you know, if someone's like watching this that knows me, it's like I think a lot of people deny themselves that, and they go one of two ways, right? You make good money and like, oh, I should be able to buy anything I want. Or they don't make great money and they say, oh, that's so superficial, whatever. And I'm like somewhere in the middle. Like, yes, I don't need to buy anything I want. I don't need to take all my little babies to Disneyland, but I want to, right? Like that's why I
Yeah.
worked as hard as I have. So I think for
Right.
me, coming from that perspective of like, I know how much we're making right now and we can live very comfortably, but I want to have more of that net profit so that we can do more of those things, which goes back to the lifestyle of like the kids, like the lifestyle I want my kids to have. We also invest pretty heavily, we save pretty heavily. Like that's how we built our rental business too, was we both were working full time when we got started. So everything was just rolling back in, and that's how we got into it. So
Yeah.
there's a lot, you know, of moving pieces with that.
Yeah. I don't think you should feel guilty about it. You earned it, and now you can spend it however you want, right?
Yeah.
um so Alexia, as we land this plane, so I'm guessing so that on the rental side you're fine. You're just gonna keep on growing slowly, make sure your costs are under control.
Yep.
Business coaching side, we discussed some ideas. You're gonna implement it. Hopefully that improves the offer and it's gonna potentially improve the conversion rate as well. Any other constraints we didn't touch on?
I think we hit them all.
All right. All right, Alexia. So now that we have covered pretty much everything, if someone is watching this and they're like, well, Alexia is such a cool gal, I want to be hang out with her, or I want to learn from her, or I want to, buy her program, what's the best place for them to reach out?
Yeah, alexiahoffman.com has everything. That's the place to go. And then social media, I'm on Instagram the most, which is at Alexia Hoffman Co.
Alexia, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for spending time with us.
Yeah, thank you so much. Great to chat with you.